Hello, it is Mary Rose Wildfire McGuire, and I am doing something unusual, which is creating a video on a Sunday of all days. I am fooling around with my computer. I was going to try to do this on the computer, but my computer needed to be updated, new drivers installed, blah, blah, blah. So I'm doing it on my phone because I woke up this morning in a very philosophical mood. So first, this video is aimed toward copywriters and content writers. And then anyone else who has been basically seduced, maybe that's a good word, is seduced by AI. This is my Cri de Coeur. I can't say it the way the French say it, but that is the phrase Cri de Coeur, and it means basically cry of the heart in French, or shouting. And I woke up with this shouting in my heart. It's regarding AI, and this is basically a rallying cry to all creatives. It's just, there's so much going on in my head right now regarding this topic. I'm going to try to distill it as best I can. But first, a little background about who I am and why I feel so strongly about this particular topic. I am an artist. Ever since I was a little girl, I was an artist. And if anybody asks me, what do you want to be when you grow up? Artist. That was my first response, okay? Not writer, although I am a writer. So I ended up going to college with a major in graphic design, and I really loved it. My medium of preference is graphite pencil or charcoal. So I drew, and I loved to draw people and people's faces. So that is what I did a lot of. And then, of course, learned graphic design principles and all of that. I had a problem, though, where I had an advisor who was basically a grumpy old man. Okay, this is, to me at the time, I mean, the guy could have been like maybe 50 years old, but, you know, here I was 18, 19 years old. And he suggested, basically, that I look for another major, which completely devastated me. But anyway, it's another story for another time. I ended up switching majors to marketing. I lasted one semester. Quantitative analysis did me in. And then I switched to communication arts. So that's a little bit of my background of education, of where I came from. But on the side, I still was creating art. I still was drawing. And I was the co-leader of an artists group in my church. And in this artists group, we had photographers and sculptors and painters, illustrators, writers, poets. I mean, it was just a beautiful group. And we had an installation one year where we got permission to install our art in the lobby of this church. And I was all excited about it. And the guy who was the co-leader with me, he was into found object art. And so he actually created his installation on the outside of the building where things were hanging from the roof. So I loved it. Okay, so anyway, but the point was, this installation, although it showed all of our creativity and everything, it only lasted 3 weeks. The pastor got, I guess, tired of it or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I think it's about time you take it down. And I'm thinking, why? Why take it down? What is here that has any beauty whatsoever about it? It was in basically an slightly upgraded warehouse. Okay, so the interior of, what would be called a sanctuary. This was a non-denominational church. Blank walls, some upholstered seats to sit in. But that was it. There was like nothing in this building that was at all arty, okay? Nothing artsy. So we took it down, of course, but I remembered feeling disappointed because I thought, where does creativity belong? If not here, which, by the way, I returned to the Catholic Church, and it's one of the things I love about the Catholic Church is the beauty of the artwork. So, when I was in college, I studied art history, and I know a little bit about, the creation of that art at the time, way centuries back. But the point is, art has a place in our society. Art has a place that touches us in ways that other things just don't touch, okay? And there is a need to create. I wrote a short little Substack article about this, the need to create. We have a need to create. And now, bringing this around to the whole AI deal. So the reason I got up today and I felt so strongly about this topic was because I thought, the reason why so many businesses love AI is because it allows them to create content at scale. So you're able to create a lot more content. Now, I understand AI does other things, okay, but I'm focusing on this particular aspect of AI, which is creating content. And it creates content at scale, allowing us to create a bunch of, blog posts and articles and even books, and whatever, that you have to put out there, social media updates and all of that. You now can do a lot more with less time. But as I thought about that, I thought, what is the rush? Why is it that we're so hooked into technology that we feel that the answer is to do things faster and faster and faster? Okay, many of us already feel like we're a rat on a treadmill, just trying to keep up, and we're going faster and faster and faster. And I'm like, why? Where are we going? What is the destination? Why do we need to go fast? These are questions I ask my husband. He hears these questions a lot. I write these questions down quite a bit in my journals, but I don't get it. I don't understand why there's such a need to create things so quickly, because I think we're missing out on so much when we try to push ourselves to create things fast. My husband is downstairs right now working on his album that he's been working on for now almost a year. He got together with his old band members, and they're re-recording some of the songs, well, pretty much, I think all of the songs really my husband has written. But this has been a long project for him. And the reason is because they can only get together once a week on the weekend, and that's it. But I think about that, and I actually love the fact that it's taking so long, because he is enjoying it so much. And I think that's important, to enjoy the creating as you're doing it. But when we take AI and we throw that into the mix, I feel like we're basically shortchanging ourselves, and we're shortchanging the creative process. So I don't know what the answers are, but I will tell you this. I think the copywriters and the writers are the ones that right now are being called to the front line, and whether or not we answer the call remains to be seen. But we now have the ability to actually speak up and fight against this onslaught, this pressure to always create things that are fast for a consumeristic society that never seems to be satisfied. So there's always something more, always something we got to learn. Meanwhile, we're so busy learning, all these new tools and adjusting and adapting and everything, that we're not really creating anything worth remembering. We're not creating anything worth remembering. And that really saddens me. I feel like, you look at some of the greatest music that we listen to, the great art that we look at, the great literature. These are pieces of work, creative work that we return to again and again, that gives us pleasure, that inspires us, that motivates us, okay? And then I think about what we're doing. Now, granted, we're not Michelangelos here. I understand that. And we're not, writing War and Peace when we write an update to a blog. Okay, I understand that. But I do think there is something still we can take away from this, which is whatever it is that you create, okay? Create something. This was from lulu.com, by the way. They gave these stickers at a conference I went to last year, and I love it. And I put it on my water bottle. Create something. Whatever it is you create, understand that something is happening to you as you create, but go a little slower and make it a goal to create something worth preserving. I think that if we did that, I think it would help our mental health in a lot of ways. But I also think it would be much more meaningful. We would have more meaningful conversations. We would have more meaningful revelations and inspire others as well as being inspired. Because this whole thing of just doing things faster and faster just for the sake of doing things faster and just for the sake of scaling, I think is becoming more and more insane to me. I'm like, I wanted to create. I want to write. I love writing. I still haven't returned to my art. The closest I come is doing graphic design for myself. But, I want to do something like that is actually worth it. Not create just to keep up with this never-ending appetite for content. So I want to make my content worth it. I want to make it worth thinking about, worth talking about, worth mentioning. And I feel that the copywriters, we now are in a very unique position to speak up about it and to talk to our clients and remind them that if they rely solely on the first draft of AI, for instance, any copy that has been AI generated, and they're using whatever they get the first thing, there is no differentiation. There is nothing to remember. There is no impact made by doing that. And their brand is basically non-existent when they do that. So if you're using AI, you're not a copywriter, you just happened upon this video, I would implore you to rework whatever you get from AI. Let it be a first draft. Let it be the start of something, not the end of anything, okay? Just look at it and say, okay, what can I add that is me? What can I add that is my business or our business, okay? Create something that is going to be uniquely yours and won't sound like everything else out there. Because I have gotten, I'm going on almost 2 years now of working with AI and researching it, and it's amazing. Most of my emails now are AI generated. Many people, they don't even touch it. I can tell. They just, put in a prompt, an AI, whatever it is they get out, boom, bulk email it, baby, I'm just like, come on, people. We are better than this. We have so much creativity in us. And so this is just, again, my Cri de Coeur, cry of the heart, screaming, shouting from the heart. Be creative, create, and don't let the pressure get to you that you have to do this at scale. Do something meaningful. And I will tell you, people will notice, especially now, because there is so much AI generated stuff out there that is so mundane, bland, mediocre. We need to do better, and we can do better. So copywriters, are you going to join me? I hope you do, because I know that's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be trying to create content that actually can make an impact and actually is differentiated. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to any comments that you might leave below. I would love to have the conversation about this. Thank you.